They told us humans were fragile. They told us their planet was a backwater mudball in the unfashionable arm of the galaxy. They told us conquering Earth would take approximately 17 standard cycles, maybe less if we skipped lunch. We were idiots. My name is Vorthak, and I used to be a strategic analyst for the Kaldreth Dominion. Note the past tense. That's important. The day everything went sideways started like any other boring council meeting. The Grand Chamber on Nexus Prime was filled with the usual suspects. The Kaldreth, that's us, tall, four-armed, excellent at bureaucracy, the Zilmara, tentacle folk who smell like overripe fruit, and the Horgath, rocks with opinions, basically. High Commander Razik stood before the projection of Earth, his crimson scales gleaming under the lights. Esteemed council members, he announced with all the confidence of someone who had never been punched in the face by reality, I present our next acquisition target. The hologram spun lazily, showing a blue-green sphere that looked, honestly, quite pleasant. Oceans. Continents. Swirly clouds. The works. Earth, Razik continued, tapping the display with one of his claws. Population, 8 billion. Military capability, laughable. Technological level, primitive. They still use combustion engines for transportation. Can you imagine? Councillor Marcus, a particularly grumpy Horgath who looked like a boulder someone had glued eyes onto, rumbled his approval. Their weapons are chemical-based. Projectiles. How delightfully backward. I should have spoken up then. I should have mentioned the 17 separate intelligence reports sitting on my desk that suggested, perhaps, maybe, possibly, we should reconsider. Reports about human history. About something they called World War II. About nuclear weapons they had built, used, and then somehow resisted using again despite having thousands of them. But I was young. Ambitious. And my career advancement depended on not contradicting High Commander Razik during council sessions. The invasion fleet will consist of 47 cruisers, Razik explained, zooming in on various Earth cities. We'll begin with precision strikes on their military installations, followed by a standard occupation protocol. The humans will surrender within 3 cycles. 4, if they're particularly stubborn. Councillor the Sara, a Zilmara whose tentacles were turning that concerning shade of purple they get when she's excited, gurgled enthusiastically. And their resources. I've heard Earth has remarkable biodiversity. Abundant, Razik confirmed. Water, minerals, organic compounds. Plus, the humans themselves might make adequate labor stock once properly educated. That got a round of approving clicks and hums from the assembly. When do we begin? Marcus asked. The fleet departs tomorrow, Razik announced. I estimate we'll be celebrating victory within the month. Spoiler alert, we would not be celebrating. The invasion began exactly as planned, which should have been our first warning. Nothing ever goes exactly as planned. That's, like, Strategy 101. The fleet emerged from slipspace above Earth's moon, 47 beautiful warships bristling with plasma cannons and shield generators that could withstand a supernova. Probably. We'd never actually tested that. Admiral Korthos, commanding from the flagship Eternal Dominance, yes, we're aware the name was a bit much, opened a broad-spectrum transmission to Earth. Greetings, humans, he began, using the translation matrix we'd perfected over 300 conquered species. You are hereby notified of your integration into the Kaldreth Dominion. Surrender your governments, disarm your militaries, and prepare for occupation. Resistance is futile and will result in the destruction of your major population centers. You have 6 of your hours to comply. Then we waited. And waited. Sir, said Tactical Officer Vrenix, her ears twitching nervously, we're receiving a response. On screen, Korthos ordered. The view screen flickered, showing a middle-aged human male sitting at a wooden desk. He wore a dark blue suit and a red tie. Behind him, flags. So many flags. Humans loved their flags. Hello, the human said, smiling in a way that didn't reach his eyes. This is President Marcus Sullivan of the United States of America. I'm speaking on behalf of the United Nations Security Council. He paused, shuffling some papers. We've reviewed your, generous offer of integration, Sullivan continued, his tone dripping with something our translator labeled as sarcasm. And we've decided to politely decline. Korthos blinked all three of his eyes. You, decline? Did the translation matrix malfunction? Furthermore, Sullivan said, leaning forward, you have 30 minutes to withdraw your fleet from lunar orbit and leave our solar system. Failure to comply will result in defensive action. The bridge went silent. Then Korthos laughed. It started as a chuckle and built into full-blown guffaws. Soon, the entire command crew was laughing, that nervous laughter you get when someone says something so absurdly ridiculous that you don't know how else to respond. Defensive action, Korthos wheezed, wiping tears from his eyes. Oh, that's precious. Vrenix, are there warships even capable of reaching us? Negative, sir, Vrenix reported, still chuckling. Their most advanced spacecraft are barely orbital. They'd need another century to threaten us here. Excellent, Korthos said, composing himself. Mr. Sullivan, your courage is admirable but misplaced. Since you've declined our mercy, we'll proceed with subjugation. Tactical, target their military installations. Begin bombardment in. He never finished that sentence. Because that's when Earth got angry. The first missile came from nowhere. Well, not nowhere. It came from Earth. Obviously. But our sensors didn't detect the launch. Didn't see it coming. Didn't register it as a threat until it was already too late. Incoming projectile. Vrenix screamed, her calm demeanor evaporating faster than water in a vacuum. Impact in 3 seconds. Shields. Korthos roared. 2 seconds. Shields are up, sir, but the object is too small to. 1 second. The missile struck the Eternal Dominance's port side. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the entire ship lurched sideways like someone had kicked it. Hard. Alarms started screaming. Lights flickered. And a section of the hull, a section protected by shields that could supposedly withstand a supernova, remember that claim, just ceased to exist. Damage report. Korthos demanded, gripping his command chair as the artificial gravity struggled to compensate. Hull breach on decks 9 through 14. We've lost main power to the port weapons array. Sir, that missile, it was nuclear. Nuclear. The primitive weapons the humans had supposedly stopped using decades ago. Except, apparently, they'd just gotten better at delivering them. Much better. Impossible, Korthos muttered. Our intelligence said. 46 more launches detected. Vrenix interrupted. Multiple sites across the planet. They're coming from silos, submarines, mobile platforms. Sir, they're targeting the entire fleet. I was watching this unfold from the command center back on Nexus Prime, along with Razik and the rest of the council. The confidence from yesterday's meeting had evaporated, replaced by something that tasted suspiciously like panic. How are they penetrating our shields? Razik demanded, turning to me. Vorthak. Explain this. I pulled up the data, my hands shaking. The weapons are crude, sir, but they're designed to, ancestors preserve us. What? They're designed to exploit a weakness we didn't know we had. The shields deflect energy weapons and large objects. But these missiles are small enough and fast enough to slip through the shield harmonics before detonation. And the electromagnetic pulse from the nuclear explosions is disrupting our systems. On screen, 3 more Kaldreth cruisers took direct hits. The Victorious Dawn broke apart completely, her reactor going critical and taking 2 nearby vessels with her in a cascade of brilliant, deadly light. Evasive maneuvers, Korthos ordered. All ships, scatter formation, but scattering just made them easier targets. The humans had hundreds of missiles. Hundreds. And they were launching them all at once, turning the space around Earth's moon into a deadly fireworks display. Then things got worse. Because, of course, they did. Sir. Vrenix reported, her voice climbing several octaves. New contacts. Small craft launching from Earth's surface. More missiles. Negative. These are piloted vehicles. Aerospace fighters. Korthos stared at the tactical display like it had personally insulted his mother. They're sending pilots. Against warships. Have they lost their minds? Apparently not. Because those fighters, primitive things held together with what I later learned was called duct tape and human stubbornness, swarmed the fleet like angry insects. They couldn't damage the shields with their conventional weapons, but they didn't need to. They just needed to distract. And while the fleet was busy swatting at gnats, Earth launched the really nasty stuff. Kinetic weapons incoming. Vrenix shrieked. Railgun fire from surface installations. Railguns. Korthos repeated, confused. Those are ancient technology. Ancient, yes. Ineffective, no. Especially when you accelerate a solid tungsten rod to a significant fraction of light speed and aim it at a spaceship that's too busy dodging nuclear missiles to notice. The Crimson Vengeance found out the hard way when a telephone pole-sized piece of metal punched through her bow, traveled the entire length of the ship, and exited through the engines. She went dark instantly, tumbling away like a child's broken toy. Back in the command center, Councillor Korthos was making sounds I didn't know Horgath could make. This is impossible. They're primitives. How are they doing this? I was frantically reviewing historical data, my analysis finally complete and utterly damning. Because, I said quietly, they've been fighting each other for their entire recorded history. They've spent thousands of years perfecting the art of killing. They've had 2 global wars in the last century alone. They've developed, tested, and refined weapons specifically designed to destroy themselves. So, Razik snapped. So, our weapons are designed to conquer, to subjugate, to intimidate primitive species into surrender. I gestured at the carnage on screen. Their weapons are designed to end civilizations. There's a difference. On screen, President Sullivan appeared again. He no longer looked calm. He looked furious. And tired. And absolutely done with our nonsense. Kaldreth Fleet, he said, his voice cold enough to freeze helium. You have 5 minutes to begin your retreat. Every second you remain in our system, we will continue firing. We have 5,000 more warheads ready to launch. We have railgun installations on 3 continents. We have fighter pilots who volunteered, knowing they probably won't come home, just for the chance to make you regret ever hearing the name Earth. He leaned forward, and I finally understood what our intelligence reports had been trying to tell us. We didn't get to the top of our food chain by being nice. We didn't conquer our planet by playing it safe. And we sure as hell didn't survive ice ages, plagues, world wars, and our own worst impulses just to roll over for some arrogant space jerks who think guns make them gods. Sullivan smiled, and it was the most terrifying expression I've ever seen. So here's what's going to happen. You're going to leave. You're going to tell your council that Earth is off limits. And you're going to pray we never develop faster than light travel. Because when we do, he paused. We'll remember this. Admiral Korthos, watching his fleet burn around him, made the only sensible decision of his career. All ships, he croaked. Retreat. Full speed. Of the 47 cruisers that entered Earth's system, 19 limped away. The rest became monuments to hubris, drifting in the void. The Galactic Council hasn't spoken to humanity since. We've declared their system quarantined. Forbidden. A warning beacon in 600 languages that essentially reads, dangerous predators. Do not disturb. As for me, I retired. Moved to a quiet colony world far from the borders of human space. I grow vegetables now. It's peaceful. Safe. And every night, I look up at the stars and wonder if somewhere out there, the humans are looking back, building ships, preparing for the day they join us among the stars. I hope I'm dead before that happens. Because Earth's fury shook the stars once. And the galaxy learned through pain that humanity doesn't just fight to win. They fight like extinction is the only alternative to victory.
Hello everyone. If you are enjoying this video and finding it helpful, don't forget to support our channel. Please subscribe to our channel, press the like button, and share this video with your friends and family. Also, make sure to turn on the notification bell so you never miss our upcoming videos. We regularly upload amazing, informative, and entertaining content just for you. Your support means a lot to us and motivates us to bring even better content in the future. Thank you so much for watching, and welcome to our growing community.